The letter came on a Tuesday. Susan opened her mailbox expecting maybe a utility bill, maybe some junk mail. Instead, she found a notice from her condo association. Special assessment. $147,000, due in 90 days. She thought it was a mistake. A typo. Someone added too many zeros. It wasn't a mistake. Her building needed repairs. Major structural repairs. And Florida law now required them to happen immediately. And the condo association had no money. So they assessed the owners. All 86 units. $147,000 each. Susan is 72 years old. She's on a fixed income. Her condo is worth maybe $380,000. She has $24,000 in savings. She doesn't have $147,000, and neither do most of her neighbors. And if they don't pay, they lose their homes. Welcome to the Florida condo crisis. And it's about to get so much worse. Let me explain how we got here, because this story starts with good intentions and ends with financial devastation. In June 2021, the Champlain Towers South condo building in Surfside, Florida, collapsed. 98 people died. The building had known structural problems for years. The condo association had been warned. Repairs were needed, but they were expensive, and the association kept putting them off because nobody wanted to pay for them until the building fell down. After Surfside, Florida passed new laws. Senate Bill 4D and Senate Bill 154. The laws require all condos 3 stories or higher must get structural inspections by the time they're 30 years old, or 25 years if near saltwater. If the inspection finds problems, they must be fixed immediately. Condo associations must maintain reserve funds. No more deferring maintenance. No more, we'll deal with it later. These laws make sense. Nobody wants another Surfside. Buildings need to be safe. But there's a problem. A massive, catastrophic problem. Most Florida condo associations don't have money. They've been operating on minimal budgets for decades, keeping monthly fees low to keep owners happy. And now they're being told to fund repairs that cost millions of dollars immediately. So they're doing the only thing they can do. They're special assessing the owners, and it's destroying people's lives. Let me tell you about Susan's building. It was built in 1979. It's right on the beach in Clearwater. Beautiful views. Aging infrastructure. The structural inspection found concrete spalling on the balconies, rebar corrosion throughout the building, water intrusion in the parking garage, failing waterproofing on the roof, outdated electrical systems, cost to repair everything, $12.6 million. The condo association had $140,000 in reserves. They needed $12.6 million. They had $140,000. So they divided the cost among the 86 units. That's $146,500 per unit, rounded up to $147,000. Some units are 1-bedroom condos owned by retirees. Some are 3-bedroom units owned by families. Doesn't matter. Same assessment. The board sent out the letters with 90 days' notice, and that's when people's lives fell apart. Susan called me because she didn't know what else to do. I'm a real estate agent in the area, and word got around that people were panicking. She asked me what her options were. I told her the truth. She has 4 options. None of them are good. Option 1. Pay the $147,000. She doesn't have it. She could borrow against her condo, but no bank is giving a 72-year-old woman on fixed income a $147,000 loan. Option 2. Sell her condo. But here's the problem. Everyone in the building is trying to sell, and nobody wants to buy a condo with a pending $147,000 assessment. She listed her condo for $380,000. She got 0 offers. She dropped the price to $350,000. 0 offers. She's now listed at $280,000. Still nothing. Because why would you buy a $280,000 condo when you have to immediately pay another $147,000? You're paying $427,000 for a condo worth $380,000. Nobody's that stupid. Option 3. Walk away. Just stop paying the assessment. Let the condo association foreclose, destroy your credit, lose everything. But at least you're not drowning in debt. This is what a lot of people are choosing. Option 4. Declare bankruptcy. Susan is seriously considering this. She's 72 years old and thinking about bankruptcy because her condo association needs $12.6 million. These are her choices. And she's not alone. Let me tell you about the scale of this crisis. There are approximately 1.5 million condo units in Florida. About 60% of them are over 30 years old. That's 900,000 units that need structural inspections. And if those inspections find problems, they need immediate repairs. Most condo associations don't have the reserves to pay for those repairs, which means special assessments. Lots of them. I've seen assessments ranging from $20,000 to $200,000 per unit, depending on the building size and the scope of repairs needed. And it's not just one building. It's thousands of buildings. In Miami-Dade County alone, there are over 300 buildings that have either completed inspections or are in the process. About 40% have been hit with major assessments. That's 120 buildings, thousands of units, hundreds of millions of dollars in assessments, and this is just beginning. The inspection deadlines haven't even hit yet for most buildings. When they do, the assessments are going to hit like a tsunami. Let me talk about what's happening to property values, because this is where it gets really ugly. Before these laws passed, Susan's condo was worth $420,000. Solid value, nice beachfront property, good investment. After the structural inspection, but before the assessment letter, it was worth about $380,000. Market softened a bit. Uncertainty about repair costs. After the assessment letter went out, the market value dropped to maybe $230,000 because anyone buying the condo has to pay the assessment. But Susan owes $147,000 in assessment costs. So her net equity is $230,000 minus $147,000, which is $83,000. She's lost $337,000 in equity in 2 years, over a building that she doesn't control, for repairs she didn't cause, under laws she didn't vote for, and she can't sell because nobody will buy. This is happening to hundreds of thousands of people. Let me tell you about what the condo associations are dealing with, because this isn't entirely their fault. Most condo boards are volunteers. They're owners, just like everyone else. They're not trained in structural engineering or construction management or complex financing, and they're being told to come up with millions of dollars immediately. So they hire engineers. They hire contractors. They hire lawyers. And all of those people are expensive. Really expensive. The structural inspection alone cost Susan's building $48,000 just to find out what's wrong. Then they needed engineering plans for repairs. Another $85,000. Then they needed contractors to bid on the work. Then they needed lawyers to navigate the contracts and the assessments. All of this costs money before a single repair is made. And where does that money come from? Special assessments. So before they even start fixing anything, owners are being assessed for inspections, engineering plans, and legal fees. I've seen buildings where $30,000 of the assessment is just administrative costs before repairs even begin. Now let me talk about the financing problem, because this is critical. Some condo associations tried to avoid special assessments by taking out loans. There are lenders who specialize in condo association loans. They'll loan the association money for repairs, and the association pays it back over time through increased monthly fees. Sounds great, right? Spread the cost over 10 or 15 years instead of hitting everyone with a massive bill at once. Except the loans require the association to have good credit. They require the building to be in good financial shape. They require a certain percentage of owner-occupied units versus rentals. And most importantly, they require that the building is worth more than the loan amount. Susan's building tried to get a loan. They applied to 6 different lenders. All 6 rejected them. Why? Because the building's total value is about $32 million, but they need $12.6 million in repairs. That's a 40% loan-to-value ratio on a building with structural problems. No lender will touch that. So the only option is special assessment. Let me tell you what's happening to the rental market, because this affects everyone, not just owners. A lot of Florida condos are rentals. Investors own them, rent them out. When the special assessments hit, those investors have 2 choices: pay the assessment or sell. Most are selling, which means they're kicking out tenants. I know a family in Fort Lauderdale who rented a condo for 8 years. They loved it. Their kids went to school nearby. It was home. The owner got hit with a $95,000 assessment. He sold the condo. The new owner wants to live in it. The family has 60 days to move out. And where are they going to move? The rental market is already tight. Prices are already high. And now thousands of rental condos are either being sold or the rent is being raised to cover the assessment costs. I've seen rents go up $800 to $1,200 a month because the owner is spreading the assessment cost over their tenants. So renters are getting displaced or hit with massive rent increases. The crisis is spreading beyond just condo owners. Let me talk about the human cost of this, because numbers don't capture what's actually happening to people. I've talked to a woman who's lived in her condo for 23 years, raised her kids there. It's the only home they've ever known. She's being assessed $82,000. She's a teacher. She doesn't have it. She's selling and moving to Georgia to live with her sister. I've talked to a retired couple who bought their condo in 2019 for $340,000. They were assessed $126,000. They're both 68. They bought the condo thinking it was their forever home. Now they're looking at assisted living because they can't afford the assessment and they can't sell. I've talked to a young couple who bought their first home in 2022, a 1-bedroom condo in Miami. They were so proud, first-time homeowners. They're being assessed $67,000. They make $95,000 combined. They have $8,000 in savings. They're walking away. Foreclosure. Destroyed credit. Starting over. These are real people. This isn't theoretical, and there are hundreds of thousands of them. Now let me talk about the political response, because this is where it gets frustrating. After the assessments started hitting, condo owners started screaming for help. They called their legislators. They protested. They demanded action. And the Florida legislature did almost nothing. They passed a bill that gives condo associations more time to build up reserves, basically delaying the problem. They didn't provide any financial assistance. They didn't create a loan program. They didn't offer tax credits or relief. They said, buildings need to be safe. Owners need to pay for it. Figure it out. Which is easy to say when you're not the one being hit with a $150,000 bill. Some legislators argued that the state shouldn't bail out private property owners, that if you own a condo, building maintenance is your responsibility. And technically, they're right. It is your responsibility. But the laws changed overnight. People who bought condos when associations could defer maintenance and keep fees low are now being held to new standards that require immediate repairs and full reserves. The rules changed mid-game. And nobody's helping the people who are drowning. Let me talk about what this means for the future of Florida real estate, because this is bigger than just the people currently affected. First, the condo market is going to crater. Maybe not everywhere, but definitely in older buildings. Nobody wants to buy into a potential special assessment nightmare. Second, condo association fees are going to skyrocket. Buildings that survive this are going to fully fund their reserves, which means monthly fees could double or triple. Third, some buildings are just going to die. Owners will walk away. Associations will dissolve. Buildings will be foreclosed on by banks or bought by developers who will demolish them and build new. Fourth, insurance is going to get even worse. Buildings with structural problems are already struggling to get insurance. This is only going to make it harder. Fifth, Florida's affordable housing crisis is going to get worse. Condos were one of the few affordable options. If condo prices crash or units come off the market, where do people go? This isn't just a condo crisis. This is a housing crisis. So what should you do if you're in this situation? If you own a condo in Florida, here's my advice. 1. Check if your building has been inspected. If not, find out when the inspection is due. 2. Ask your condo association about their reserve fund. How much do they have? Is it enough to cover anticipated repairs? 3. If an assessment is coming, explore all your options immediately. Can the association get a loan? Can they finance the repairs over time? 4. If you're being assessed, talk to a real estate attorney. Understand your legal options and obligations. 5. If you're trying to sell, price aggressively. The market is falling. Every month you wait, you lose equity. 6. If you can't pay and can't sell, talk to a bankruptcy attorney before you default. Understand the implications. And if you're thinking about buying a condo in Florida, be very, very careful. Get the inspection reports. Get the reserve study. Get the association meeting minutes. Know what you're buying into, because the era of cheap condo living in Florida is over. Let me end with Susan's story, because I talked to her yesterday. She's selling. She accepted an offer of $235,000 for a condo she bought for $380,000 2 years ago. After the sale closes, and she pays the $147,000 assessment, she'll walk away with about $88,000. She's moving to North Carolina to live with her daughter, leaving Florida after 30 years, leaving her friends, leaving her life because her building needed repairs and nobody had the money to pay for them. This is the Florida condo crisis, and it's just beginning. Comment below. Do you own a condo in Florida? Have you been hit with a special assessment? What's happening in your building? I want to hear your story. See you in the next one.